What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here again. It is MLB coming back to life. We got everybody in action. I think outside of my Brewers. My Brewers are not in action today, which is weird. Got the Brewers flag up for the post All-Star. It's only taken me till All-Star break to get my Brewer flag up there. I will never put the Bucks flag up there as long as Doc is still in business. Hopefully that ends sooner rather than later, and we can put some Bucks up there. But joined as always, Stu. How you been, man? It's been a little bit.
I'm doing good, just trying to survive a world without any sports on TV, and up in Ben's NBA Summer League, but there's only so much of that you can really do, especially when nobody in the world really cares as well. Like, frankly, people do not care about the Summer League. So, just been hanging out, trying to enjoy a little downtime. Obviously, MLB season is an absolute grind, so it is good to have that week off. In theory, just when you're actually there, you're like, give me some fucking baseball. I want it. So it's good to have it back. Although I will say before we get to the show, it is important to acknowledge first day back after a week, weird stuff happens. Like, this is not the day to have 400 bets. Just because baseball is back today does not mean it won't be here for the rest of the season as well, right? So I know people are real fired up for it, but it's important. Anytime you have a layoff, there's going to be more variance. You already see all the write-ups. Oh, this guy's hot right now. Well, he's not hot right now. He was out a week ago, right before he went home and hung out with his family for 5 days, but it's a little bit different. So just important to get that going, important to not, fire off 5,000 bets today, but definitely enjoy being back from the break.
Yeah, no, I was saying to you, dude, I've been watching some weird ass movies, bro. Like, I've been just like work, and then I'm grilling out every day just because my fiance would not let me grill out more than a day in a row. We got a new grill, which is nice. So I'm not eating anything but just straight meat for the whole week. And I'm like, dude, this is kind of hype. So just eating anything that I can make, which obviously I have a very limited ability in making food on there. So doing that, waking up early, watching some golf really early in the morning. So hopefully it just sucks because it's all over by like noon. So it's, it's just all crazy like that.
Yeah, no, I wish my golf was going a little bit better, but we don't have to get caught up on that for too long. This is a crazy tournament. Some Shane Lowry in there losing to some guy first round leader I've never even heard of before. Just some legitimately random guy from the Euro Tour that's missed like 5 cuts or whatever. So yeah, golf is a little bit of a shit show here, but definitely enjoying it. Hopefully I have someone in contention on Sunday. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, actually, this might be, knock on wood, Brian Harmon, Alex Noren, make the cut, boys. You just got to make the cut for your boy here. Then I will have a 6 for 6 through for the first time in a while if I can have those guys. And Russell Henley, but he played well yesterday, so hopefully that can just make the fucking cut. Just make the cut. Because we got our other guys are in. All of our higher guys are in, so I'm feeling pretty good. Just got to, just hold on, cut sweat a little bit here, so it'll be fun. But, yeah, let's get into the slate, Stu. Each of us got one play. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of games without even options on props yet. A lot of pitchers haven't even been listed yet. I see like even DK FanDuel will just kind of put guys in sporadically throughout the day as the listed starters. So just a heads up, there will be more bets probably throughout the day, but I'm seeing a lot of these not even have anything up yet.
Yeah, and I'm just glad the Microsoft stuff didn't take all the bets offline. I know it did. MGM apparently is down right now, but most of the other books seem to be working okay. So definitely glad at least we have something to bet on today as well. How crazy would that be? We got our first day back, then this Microsoft thing just kills all the sports books. That would have gambling Twitter going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I think DraftKings would just sue Microsoft or whatever because we've been out of money for 4 days. Now you're going to take this away from us. Like, let's go. All right, so what game is sticking out to you? We got a full slate, like I said. Got a little bit of everything today. High-end dudes, middle rotation pitchers. What's sticking out to you?
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, like I didn't mention, I'll be touching down in Michigan later today, so I'll probably have some Tigers on. That'll truthfully be the big screen game. But honestly, the one that it's not going to be big screen. It'll be the pull up on my phone game of the week. Will probably be that Padres Guardians. Honestly, Beebe versus Waldron, 2 pitchers that I'm a very big fan of. Obviously, one for best ball reasons, and the other, I just love the knuckleball. I mean, how can you not? Like, anything that's unique like that, anything that's crazy like that, for me, a lot of fun to watch. Interesting to see how the Guardians handle it as well. They're an interesting offensive team. Obviously, got some very good hitters and then some not so great hitters as well. So I like that. I like that matchup a lot. It jumped out to me when I was kind of scrolling through everything. I think that should just be a very competitive game in general with two pitchers that I like a lot on the mound.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think for me, obviously, I want to see Garrett Cole now that he's kind of healthy. I think that's a guy I do want to see for this Yankees team that's obviously done pretty well without him. See how he does with a little bit more rest, obviously coming off of that. But also, I am a Pivetta fan, so I do want to see him go against the Dodgers. I mean, again, those are the games that are most interesting to me because you never know what can happen. Like Pivetta could go out there and 12K these dudes, and I wouldn't even be surprised. This Dodgers lineup is not good, bro. Like the bottom of that order is dog shit. Like I've watched enough of these games where it's like, damn, okay, Ohtani, Freeman, Smith, and that's Will Smith like every 4 weeks that he just decides to be really good, and then the other ones he's just average. And then Teoscar, and then it's like, oh, our fifth best player is Andy Pages. We didn't even know where he was, and now he's our fifth best player now. And it's like Lux still hasn't turned it around the way that people have wanted him to. We're seeing Kike and Chris Taylor bat $150 each, like. But also, you still got to worry about those top four. So it's like you could see Pivetta just get absolutely rocked by those top guys. But I think that's the most interesting game. Obviously, the Red Sox have been on a heater. And now you go to Dodger Stadium. Should be a fun one after the break.
Yeah, no, that one, because I'm trying to find a bet in that game, because the Dodgers used to be such a dependable one to get like a hit prop or something. But like you said, Pivetta, the second half of that lineup being bad, like I agree. That's going to be an interesting one. I'm definitely curious to see how that plays out, especially on the other side too, with some of those Boston hitters as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so I know I gotta be the bearer of bad news and be the guy who has to go quick here today. But I'm gonna kick it over to you to start us off with obviously a old friend of yours.
Yep. Got the dad's hat on. Not here anymore. He could come back in free agency. Not going to shut any doors if we plan on spending some money, maybe. But I can keep dreaming about that. We'll go into the play. We got Juan Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. -110, -115 is on DraftKings as well. If you don't have 365, some of the ESPNs of the world as well, but still a good price, obviously, especially when you consider Juan Soto is in that -140 to really 2.5 hits, runs, RBI range a lot of the time, right? You don't get him at a very reasonable price, except when you're against better pitchers, and that's what we got here. Eflin on the mound, obviously very strong on the season, currently sitting at that 3.99 ERA, although when he does go on the road, that ERA does jump up to 5.24, so he hasn't been quite as perfect on the road, but really, once again, I don't have too much negative to say about Eflin. I think he's a good pitcher, but really the thing that sticks out to me is Juan Soto, for anyone that's ever bet this guy in batter props, is so annoying because the guy can walk 2 times in any given day, right? So one, I'm not playing him at hit parlays anymore, just in general. The hits, runs, RBIs, even if you get walked, you can still be driven in, right? You still can create some opportunities right there where it's not the end of the world. It's not the preferred outcome, but it's not the end of the world. Eflin, though, is one of the best pitchers in the league at mitigating walks, right? He is one of the most controlled guys. You go to Baseball Savant, 100th percentile, right? He is one of the best of the best. You see his last 6 starts, only walked 1 guy in each one of them, right? He's extremely controlled. He has great, view of the zone. Obviously, he's someone that doesn't waste a lot of pitches. He goes after you. And that's what we want with someone like Juan Soto on the other side, especially considering in his career, 5 extra base hits, hitting over 400 against him. So they've seen each other a decent amount. Soto obviously has had the upper hand so far. And you kind of talked about it with the Dodgers. The Yankees, same thing. I only want the top of this lineup. Like, I don't want to deal with the rest of the stuff. I even thought Anthony Rizzo might be good coming into the season, and that obviously hasn't happened, right? Like, I truly want, like, the first 4 guys in this lineup, right? And that's what you get with hits, runs, RBIs, right? Because you obviously have the potential, not just to, him to be driven in, but also some RBI upside as well up there. So for me, it's a good price. It's obviously a pitcher that is solid. But when you look at the pitch splits too, right? Eflin really depends a lot on like the cutter and sinker, right? He's very good with the fastball and kind of those, different, soft contact kind of pitches right there. But I mean, Soto absolutely hammers those pitches, especially when they're not coming from lefties, right? Especially, but in general, against cutters and sinkers, 327 XBA and 360 XBA so far on the season. It's just two pitches that he's always been very comfortable with. It's especially the cutter. That's always something I look for against Soto, because if you're not a lefty, he's not someone that's very easy to jam or like get it in on, right? He's extremely controlled in the zone, and he has great bat movement as well. So I think Soto could do it himself with a nice little homer right here. But I do like the top of this lineup. Obviously, hard to complain about that with a little added insurance in case he gets walked, once, maybe twice. You want to have other guys be able to pick up the slack and still cash your ticket right here. So definitely like the Soto prop. I think we're getting a good price on it. I think pretty reasonable value. And yeah, I love backing Juan Soto at, a reasonable price.
Yeah, no, and I think that was the biggest issue, right? The biggest issue is he walks more than probably anybody in the league, and then you have another guy in there and Judge who walks right up there with him. So good looks talking about the walks. I think that's obviously the biggest point of this one. Or else Soto would be 2.5 every single game. He would be a 2.5 guy every game, just like Judge is, even though that's why it's tough. You're pretty much asking judges to hit a bomb, right? I mean, that's pretty much what you're asking for. Because you get so many walks in there. So do like that spot. I will be going to your team today for mine, but I'm going to be comboing it with Sean Manaea. I really like Sean Manaea today. I really like Manaea. My issue, because I want to play 17.5 outs. I probably will play that separately. I probably will, just because Miami is so bad versus lefties. But Manaea's missing bats, man. He is missing bats, and that's always been a thing for him. Is he runs up these pitch counts. He's got tons of issues with that. But what I will say is Miami, guess what their walk rate is against lefties so far this year?
Is it good or bad?
They are the lowest in the MLB against lefties.
Oh, wow. So what we're talking about, like 6?
6.
What are we talking? Wow. Yeah.
6% walk rate. You talking about the Yankees, they are 11.5% walk rate versus lefties. So that's a huge difference, right? Obviously, you're not going to see huge percentage difference like a 20 to a 6%, but it's like double. That's pretty incredible, right? Obviously, when you have Judge and Soto, that's going to do a lot for you. But they're the lowest in terms of walk rate versus lefties, 6%, tied with the Twins. They also have the lowest WRC plus against lefties this year. Do you want to guess that one, Stu? That one's fun. That's a fun one. They are.
Oh boy, how bad?
Well, I'll let you guess, because the second lowest team is the Cardinals, and they are 8% better.
Oh boy.
That's how big of a drop off it is.
I don't want to go too low, but like 66. I don't know. What are we thinking?
That was a little too low. 70 WRC plus against lefties. So Sean Manaea is going to get a team here that swings a lot, right? Josh Bell is significantly worse from the right side. Jake Berger's been one of the worst hitters I've seen over the last month. I think he's golden sombrero twice, if I remember that, in the last month, which obviously is a lot of strikeouts. Jazz Chisholm, lefty on lefty. I'll take that all day. Who am I worried about? Brian De La Cruz? Yeah, maybe. Okay, one guy. I'm worried about one dude here in this lineup. I ain't worried about Nick Fortes in the 9 batting the cat. Like, I'm not worried about him. Xavier Edwards has no pop, right? That's what I'm saying. There's just no one there that I'm worried about in this lineup for the power and for doing, walking. None of these guys want to walk. They're up there to swing. Against lefty so far this year, which is important, obviously, like I said, with Jazz, 28% K rate, a 2.8 xFIP. Phenomenal numbers there. And then against righties, obviously 23%. But I do like how much better he has been as of late. In the month of July, 26% K rate, 3.7 xFIP. Really, really good numbers here. And his walk rate's down to 7%. I know that's not great, but it's still better than what he's used to in running up these pitch counts. So I think you'll be able to get deep enough in this game. This is obviously the heavier lifting one. This is like minus 190 to minus 200. The Reds have Frankie Montas, and the Nationals have Patrick Corbin on the mound today. Like, what more could you ask for in Washington? Nice weather. Dude, this ball is going to be jumping. The only thing that would have been better was if it's in Great American, and if it was in Great American, it'd probably be an 11 over-under because of how bad these two guys are. I really like this spot, especially for the top of the order for the Reds. As a team, they're not great against lefties because the bottom of that order is just dog shit against lefties. But now you have Jonathan India moving up to the 1. Candelario has been always good against left-handed bats, as you would know with him being there before and obviously knowing how good he is. And then obviously you go over to the other side. Frankie Montas miss bats. He just walks too many dudes. The Reds bullpen is dog shit. That's why I went with the full game over versus the first half over, because we've seen Patrick Corbin just ground ball, dudes to death, and then sixth inning give up 5. I've done that twice against the fucking Mets, and I've lost my bet because I did first 5. I'm playing full game. Give me some more of that Washington bullpen. I watched the Nationals game when they were in town. That bullpen is fucking awful. That is one of the worst bullpens I've ever watched. I think Lane Thomas is a bottom 5 defensive outfielder I've ever watched too. The dude is terrible. Can't do anything. And just watching that team play baseball hurt my eyes. Like it was one of the worst things, because that lost me my bet, mind you. That's why my bet lost.
Yeah.
Because Lane Thomas can't play a fucking lick of right field. Hopefully he's DH'd. I would bring up a single A dude just to go play out there, DH him, bro. For real. Dude's dog shit. I will now forever hate Lane Thomas. I will forever hate Jake Irvin, even though I thought I liked him. The dude's fucking ass, dude. Like, CB Buckner giving you 3 balls off the plate, you still can't get out of it, dude. What an awful performance. Jake Irvin, I think, has given up 14 runs his last 3 starts. Dude, shit. You got Lane Thomas out there, shit. Only guy I like on that team is CJ Abrams, because that dude catches bets no matter what. So one guy respects the money, nobody else on that team respects money, and put him in the fucking minors. Put Lane Thomas in the minors.
That Lane Thomas play was so brutal, man. Oh my, that whole series.
Right to him,
I know. Oh my God, you saw a bunch of them though. If you remember, C.J. Abrams made that error that got Rutledge pulled, so he didn't get his first career win. Easy.
I had no win, so I was happy.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying, as a fan, getting through 5, like easy routes. He has the most errors out of anyone, has worst defensive rating at anyone at shortstop. Like the whole team just can't play defense. I don't know what it is. Lane Thomas at least was throwing guys out earlier in the year. He was like gunning dudes down because he has a rocket arm, but like you said, he can't move. Like there's nothing else there.
Dude's just he's so unathletic for being that good at baseball. You should not be that unathletic. It was fucking crazy.
It's brutal. But I didn't even want to think about that. Thanks for reminding me. But
I was there, dude. It was an awesome game to watch. Like just giving up Jake Irvin giving up tanks, bullpen giving up tanks. Willie Adames took what's his face, your boy. I know you always love talking about him. I think you hate him more than anyone I've ever met. What's his face? Rainey. Rainey just gives up a fucking tater tot 3-run nuke to Willie Adames. You guys let Willie Adames get on base 5 times. That dude's on base percentage ain't even 300. That dude's a strikeout machine. He goes freaking 4 for 4 with a walk. Really? Yeah. Willie ain't even that good, bro. I love Willie. I love him. Defensively, he's phenomenal. But every time I go, dude has 2 Ks. And he just decides, all right, we'll go 5 for 5 because these guys suck.
Only thing I'll say about the Nats pitching is that all those guys are young as hell. They've never gone deep into a season. So if you'll notice, like Irvin and some of the other guys, the wheels fell off these last couple starts because they didn't have these innings under their belt before. So I do think some of these guys will come back a little stronger for a little stretch. And then I think the wheels will fall off again a little bit later into the season as well, until these guys are eventually shut down or whatever. So I will say, obviously Irvin was rough. A lot of the guys were rough at the end. Gore had back-to-back meltdowns. I believe 3 straight starts with 5 strong innings or 4 strong innings and then a meltdown. So it's one of those things that if you don't build up those innings, it's going to bite you in the butt, and it's a really young team. So I will give a little optimism after we've hated on all the offensive players for 10 minutes. I think the pitchers will have a little bit of a bounce back here, hopefully. Not Corbin, obviously, for this man. Not Patrick Corbin. That is not who I mean. All the young pitchers.
Yeah. You got a little more hope than I do, but it's all right. I guess you got to have to. Let's recap, Stu. I got to get out of here, but I'll let you recap us here, and we'll get it rolling.
Sounds good. We're with Juan Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, -110 over on 365 in DraftKings ESPN.
I'll be on draft. This is on DraftKings. Reds alternate total over 6.5 with Sean Manaea 5Ks, -119. Ready to roll for the day. Stu, you got anything else for the people here? If we have long shots, I'm sure we'll drop them in the chat here later. Obviously, there's not much out with I think like 6 or 7 teams, not even listing starters yet.
Yeah, no, I'll say, just follow over on Twitter, join the Discord, just posted about yesterday. Free, great place to be if you don't want to see people arguing over parlays for 44 hours, like is what happened on Gambling Twitter this week. That was an interesting scene. But I didn't even get to say too before we get off. I really like your play, by the way. I really like your play. I will be telling that. I didn't even give it a chance. Like I'm playing India hits, runs, RBIs at some point as well. I know you hit on that a little bit, and then the Mania look is great. I think I'm going to run that strikeout liner, honestly. So wanted to throw that in there. Excited for today's slate. Excited to be back here. Make sure to have a little caution. First day, a little bit crazy, but super pumped for the second half of the season. I think we're going to crush it.
Yes, sir. As of, like I said, last show, we're pushing 15. Looking to do that again here. Obviously, football right around the corner as well. Should be fun. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's a quicker show today. If you got any questions, we're always around. Make sure you drop them on YouTube. We usually get to everything, either me or Stu. And we'll be back Monday. Obviously, make sure you're tuning in to know when we're going to go live. You got to have that notification bell on. Obviously, Stu's going to have weekend plays. I'm going to have a UFC card. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good weekend. And back at it in terms of baseball here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all your support as always. Hit that like button on your way out, and we'll catch you on Monday. Have a good one, guys.